Hello summoners, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we're going to do top 10 mutant characters in Marvel Contest of Champions. But before I start, I must thank you all for the incredible support. I recently crossed 400 subscribers on YouTube, which is a huge milestone for my channel and it means a lot to me, so thanks for that. Now coming back to the video, at number 1 we have Omega Red. At a high signature level with Suicide Masteries and some synergies, he is one of the best characters in the entire game. There's not much he cannot do. He has crazy damage output when he has the death field on. He can do a lot of death spore damage, plus the heavy attack can put some really strong degeneration on the opponent, so he just melts everything. Plus he can regenerate on the SP1 and SP3, and he's poison immune. He can regenerate from the bleed as well. Really good for Caltrops, Biohazard, a solid option for Act 6 completion, exploration, path clearing, some bosses like the 6.1 Crossbones, and like really good for Alliance for attack, Alliance quest, Alliance for defense, like basically everything in the game. He's a really solid character in my opinion, and that is why he's a number 1. Then at number 2 we have Colossus, and if you're not running Suicides, then he is probably the best mutant character. You kind of want him at a high signature level if you want to run him like in Labyrinth of Legends and stuff like that. Ideally you want, like without synergies, you want to be able to stun the opponent for the crazy damage, for the big heavy attacks and the big SP2 after the heavy attack. But if you can't do that, if you can bring Omega Red and Ember Frost, who are great characters by themselves by the way, then you can just do some crazy damage with Colossus. Like I took him in Labyrinth, he was doing 30,000 medium attacks and stuff. I have him at 565, and on top of that he has immunities to bleed, incinerate, cold snap, frostbite, so a lot of utility, a lot of damage. That is why he's number 2. And if you're not running Suicide, he's at number 1. He does gain a lot of power from the Emma Frost synergy. That is why, and you keep spamming your SP2, which is why he's not good with Suicide Masteries, especially for longer matchups. He's decent with them for shorter matchups. Then at number 3 we have Namor, who is the go-to option for a lot of players for fights with fun and interactive damage like Cog and Electro, Psychic Thorns, nodes like that. But even except that, like he has a lot of damage output in slightly longer fights when you build him up, build up all the outreach charges. He has regeneration on his specials. He's really good for Suicide Masteries, so a really solid character in my opinion. But if you're not running Suicides, then I think the number 3 would go to the number 4 character here, which is Domino. And Domino, the only problem I have with her, I have her at 565 by the way, and I use her all the time. The only problem I have with her is the fact that she is RNG dependent, and like she has a lot of damage. No one is denying that. Everyone at this point knows that like she can do some crazy critical bleed damage. Her SP2 is really insane. Like most fights, SP2 and the fight is over, and if it's not, then the critical bleed will finish it off. And she's a solid defender as well, but I think she lacks a bit on the utility side. She has a 50% chance to shrug off bleeds. She is really good with the Red Hull synergy, with the heavy attacks. She was my go-to champion for Variant 2 until I got the thing as a 6-star, but she's really solid overall. That is why she's at number 4, and if you're not running Suicide, it's number 3. Then at number 5 we have Archangel, and if you can bleed and poison the opponent, which is a lot to ask, like there are a lot of bleed and poison immune characters, but if you can bleed and poison, then he is probably better than any of these characters in that matchup, with 2 exceptions of Elsa Bloodstone and Cable. But overall, like really solid character, a lot of damage output with the neurotoxins, and if he's a weakened, he can just completely shut down. Like he has really strong defensive ability reduction, heal block as well when you have neurotoxin on, so a really solid character overall. That is why he is at number 5. Then at number 6 we have Sunspot, and the perfect blocks are huge with Sunspot. Like In Act 6, the current state of Act 6, block proficiency is a huge thing. That is why Color Obsidian is not that common, like not used that often in Act 6 because of his block proficiency. But Sunspot, when the opponent has Incinerates on, then he gets perfect block, which is just a huge thing. Plus the damage potential of this character is really good. You have to build him up a bit with a couple of SP1s, I believe. I don't have him at 5 star, but he can do some mega SP2 damage, really solid prestige as well. So a decent amount of utility, crazy damage, block proficiency. Like the perfect block is what makes him desirable the most, in my opinion, is the reason he's at number 6. Then at number 7 we have Emma Frost, who is the most versatile character in the game, in my opinion. Also the most underrated character. I did a top 20 underrated character list not too far back. If you want to check that out, he was at number 1 in that list. She has a lot of utilities, right? Like she can do a lot of damage. She is really tanky in her diamond form. She is immune to basically everything in her diamond form. She has evade counter as well. So like really solid character, you can't go wrong with her. Really powerful synergy with Colossus as well. So that is why she is at number 7. And at number 8 we have Havoc, and I have a 565 Havoc, and the ideal way to play him is to go with for SP1, then a heavy attack for the great like damage over time, plasma damage. He can do really good plasma damage on the opponent, and the SP3s are obviously one of the hardest hitting SP3 in the game. Really solid war attacker, great for psychic turns because his attacks are projectiles, incinerate immune as well. So a decent amount of utility, really good damage output from the specials and the plasma, and a decent defender as well. So that is why he's at number 7 in the list. And at number 8 we have Iceman. And Iceman is a character who have not aged the best with time. Like he's not aged as well as Magic and Hyperion, but his utility is like infinite, right? He is triple immune. He has decent damage. He can counter power gain with his ice armor, and also evade with cold snap. So really solid character. And that is a decent defender. A lot of characters nowadays are cold snap immune though, but overall still a really good character. I might recommend rank 5ing him, or at least rank 4 him. He's a pretty decent character. Then at number 10, buffed Old Man Logan, probably the best Wolverine right now. A lot of decent regeneration with the synergies, decent damage output, critical bleeds as well. That's pretty much it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Subscribe for more content and stay safe. Thank you and bye bye.